Hello out there folks, in this little short video I'm just going to be having a look at the patch notes for the latest update for Le Mans Ultimate. We are now on version 1.2.3.0 and that updated today. It was a 10 gig update, and in this video I'm just literally going to be going through some of the points in the patch notes and some of the things that we might see improved and things to look forward to. One of the biggest headlines, which is actually stated as a headline in the patch notes here, is the updated tyre physics for the hypercars. Now, as we know, the last cars to get a tyre update were the GT3s, and it made them quite a lot more snappy, a lot less slip angle, and it might be this. It's looking like it probably will be the same sort of thing with the hypercars, which are already difficult enough to drive. So will we be seeing much more difficult cars to drive, or is it going to feel absolutely brilliant? But I am looking forward to jumping in and trying that out. I'll be doing a little video or live stream tomorrow on this. I'll certainly be jumping into Le Mans tonight to have a look and see how it feels. Now, other updates, we've got updates to the co-op, which has fixed a free pit stop exploit by handing over and then reassigning to yourself. Engine tech fixed a rare server crash. This is to do with the game engine itself. Fixed it. This is something I'm very pleased about. They've said here that they've fixed an intermittent hang when the server changes sessions from qualifying to race. And I have noticed whilst racing online in race control that it does, if you're out on track when the server goes from quali to race, there is quite a long hang, so it'll be nice to not see that. That'll be a nice little quality of life improvement. Gameplay, they've fixed being teleported to the pits at the race start, which will still show you in your first position for a full lap, so it's just another little bug fix there. And they have fixed unserved stop-go penalties in qualifying, resulting in a 0-second pit stop during the race. So I guess that just, if you do get a stop-go in qualifying, it doesn't carry over to the race, which is nice. Limited tyre rules. So they've fixed pit menu. Current tyre change selection not updating after becoming invalid due to a change in tyre allocation use. So just another quality of life improvement there. And then these two next lines are quite interesting. Improved game logic around replacement of tyres when picking up damage. Now, maybe this explains what that means in the next bullet point, which is prevented damaged and detached tyres from being reusable. So I'm wondering if this now means if you go out and really badly flat spot your tyres, then I'm wondering if the game will not let you use those tyres again. You'll have to go back to using new tyres, or changing the set at least. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. In terms of physics, and this is probably been done to help with the new tyre model, but this seems like it's on all cars. They've improved the auto blip model to correct excessive rear locking, especially on LMDH cars. So it says especially on the LMDH cars, but that sounds like it's across all cars. So when you're down changing and the differential starts to lock up on a down change, if you've down changed a little bit too early and you're still going a little bit too fast, then that should help with not losing the back end in those circumstances. All that in combination with braking. In race control, which is your live when you're online racing, they've fixed the missing message when there are no weekly special events scheduled. Not run into that one before. I'm not sure what that means. Race starts, and this is interesting. I like this line. Fixed AI spacing out very unevenly during fast rolling starts. So that should improve the first lap for racing against the AI. And that'll be interesting to test out in a race with the hypercars. I can have a look at the new tyre model and see how the AI behave on that first lap when I do my first bit of testing. Fixed circumstances of jump starts receiving no penalty. I'm imagining that might be for offline play. You might not receive a penalty if you accidentally jump the start. I'm sure that works already in online, but if it's for both, brilliant. And fixed exploit allowing burnouts and speeding up and slowing down penalisation. So I'm not sure what the exploit is, but obviously they're going to be stricter on whether you spin up your tyres or whether you use excessive braking to try and warm up your brakes when you're on your pace lap, and that'll probably be online and offline, so you'll get points against you for that. There's been fixes to the replays. They fixed the crash when loading replay from the burger menu whilst on the co-op screen. Not sure what the burger menu is. If you know, please tell me in the comments. And fixed being unable to change HUD options in instant replay mode. So that should mean that you can cycle through the HUD when you're in a replay a little bit easier now. And fixed lap count showing as 0 in the replay. So that's all useful stuff when you're trying to go back into a replay and finding out, what happened at a certain point in the race or what was going on, the information coming from your HUD if you're looking at a certain lap in a race that you've done. Telemetry, fixed last seconds of telemetry file not saving, so a little bug fix there. And track limits have changed a bit, so they've fixed illegal pass monitoring, not removing cars in the pit lane correctly. They've also fixed track limit strictness, occasionally changing after a pit stop. I've never noticed that, but it's nice to know that it stays the same all the time, so you can reliably know where your track limits are and not go off track and get a penalty, time penalty. Updated track limits to penalise time gain after rejoining track more harshly. So if you do come off the track, maybe on the outside of a corner, so you're not cutting, but you're going off track, if you pick up time from doing that, it's going to be penalised more harshly. User interface, fixed layout formatting in race results, and fixed SR label styling issues in daily race cards. As I'm going through this, I just want to say, if you are finding this useful and informative, please think about subscribing to the channel and giving us a like. You have no idea how much that helps a little channel like mine. Going on, there's been updates to tracks. So Sebring has fixed the pit entry track limits on full circuit layout. So I should imagine if you go over the line on the entry to the pit, it won't like it. Bahrain fixed missing collisions on the Armco at the end of the pit wall. So obviously there's a part of the pit wall which hasn't its physical properties completely sorted, which they've now fixed. Silverstone added Goodyear arches in fan zone and near BRDC. Added rally handling centre. That's interesting. That makes me wonder if there's a little rally track somewhere at Silverstone which you could go and use. Well, you wouldn't want to do that in a GT3 or a hypercar. Anyway, fixed leaving the last pit box before pit, giving the user a track limits violation. Fixed leaving the last pit box or pit exit, giving the user. Oh, right, okay. So that's good. So if you're in the last pit box, then you're going to get a track limits violation if you exit it, probably with too tight of a turn. That's fixed. That's good. Paul Ricard added reinforcements, secondary barriers behind Armco in various locations. Added various minor props around circuit. Fixed some curves being noticeably darker than others. Fixed minor gaps in terrain. Increased grip by 2% on curves. Optimized runoff road mesh topology. And tweaked bollards, materials and position, and various asset material tweaks. So just lots of little touch-ups for Paul Ricard there. Car updates. They've adjusted the hypercar brake heating parameters. I guess a lot of this is to do with getting used to the new tyres. By the way, just as a side note, this is the first iteration of those new tyres. They will be getting tweaked, and there will, I'm sure, be some more patches. They have also said that the wet tyres either have not been updated or they're not completely correct yet, so they will be patching the wet tyres. So I'm not going to try any wet races on the wet tyres. Apparently at the moment they're far too difficult. Anyway, going on with the car updates, they've adjusted the hypercar traction control maps to better suit the updated tyres. So obviously they'll have changed where and when the traction control cuts in to suit the grip of the new tyres or the characteristics of the new tyres. So you might want to change your setup. So if you run with less traction control, you might want to run with more from now on. It depends how it adjusts, how it feels on the tyres. Force feedback equalisation pass on hypercars, so hopefully that means they're going to feel a bit better, and that would be nice. Hopefully maybe a little bit heavier on the steering would be nice. They are quite light compared to the GT3s, and I wonder if hypercar steering wheels would be lighter naturally, but I don't know, maybe they're a little bit too light at the moment, so maybe that'll make them slightly stiffer. They've fixed the electric motor power output inconsistencies. Fixed hypercar soft tyres showing is extremely shiny when travelling faster than 24 kilometers per hour. So another little graphical tweak there. And hypercar damage tweaks. This is interesting. They've now got stronger rear wings, so it's going to be harder to knock your rear wing off. Stronger suspension, but a weaker engine. So it sounds like you're going to have to be more careful with your engine, but the cars will suffer less from knocks on the suspension and rear wing. Initial version of new hypercar BOP for the updated tyres, so obviously they've adjusted the balance of performance for the hypercars to suit the new tyres, but as it says initial version, so that also sounds like it's going to be reviewed in the future or patched, updated, so on. Minor GT3 BOP review, that's interesting. I wouldn't have thought they needed updating, but obviously they do. They've been out a while with those new tyres on now. Reviewed track limits target lap times on all cars. Reviewed track limits target lap times. I'm not quite sure what that means. If anyone knows, tell me in the comments. So you've got little fixes to all of the cars as well. So on the Peugeot LMH, you've got the adjusted NAMO of airing component from front diffuser to front wing. So that just means that the front diffuser or front, it will now change to front wing in your setups. They've adjusted the Cadillac vertical seat movement limit, so obviously it sounds like you can either move more or less in the seat up and down. Fixed rims being seen through, I think this is the wheel arches on the lowest level of detail. Now that little graphical improvement there. The Eureka LMP2 AI performance correlation tweaks, primarily SPA, so obviously they've had a look at getting better AI performance at SPA, and it sounds like it could be at all tracks, but primarily SPA, so that sounds like it's been the most work done. So that's good for your offline racing. Corrected rims being seen. This is the same as the Cadillac. They've stopped the rims being shown through the wheel arches at lower levels of details. On the BMW M4 GT3, they've rebuilt the interior level of details to improve quality. Another graphical tweak. Porsche 911 GT3, fixed object poking through rear of body. I've not noticed that actually. Chevrolet Corvette GT3, fixed grille disappearing when the car was far away from the camera. I have noticed that, so that's another nice thing to see. So the grille of the car in front won't be popping in and out as it gets further or closer away from you. The Alpine LMDH, they've updated the HUD for 2025. Corrected the template for the Lamborghini LMDH. So if you're maybe skidding, that should, if you're skidding cars, maybe that should be an improvement for that. The Peugeot LMH wing have corrected the issue with the top edge of the inside windshield. And the McLaren 720S GT3, they've fixed missing toe strap on the highest LOD. So more graphical improvements there. More graphical improvements to the level of details on the Aston Martin GT3 there. And the Valkyrie, the LMH, they've adjusted the naming of the aero. That's the same as with the other cars. They've changed the name in the setups of the front splitters from diffuser front wing. Not sure why it's not just called splitter. And they've adjusted the aerodynamics and spring rates and skid block. So maybe that car will drive a little bit more differently now with those new settings. And lastly, the Liger LMP3, they've corrected rear wing damage settings. So there's a few cars there which have got stronger wings. So that's the entire changelog there, read out for you. If you haven't had time to read it, I hope it's been, maybe if you're driving in your car or something and you listen to this on your phone, or if you just haven't got time to read it, I hope it's been useful me reading it out there for you. And we'll see what these updates are like when we get to try it out tomorrow. Anyway, as I said, if you've enjoyed this, like and subscribe, and thank you for watching or listening. Cheers, all the best.